Now heard on iTunes.
Everything you want to hear from the voice of Cerritos College. WPMD on the net, where people make a difference.
And welcome to another edition of the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob GF, and this semester's going by so fast. Really, so quickly. At this time, I'd like my guest to please introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Chavez, and I work in the Student Activities Office.
Cool. Now, tell me about your role here at Cerritos.
My role, I help the coordinator, which is Amna Jara, in assisting her with events planning and doing basically just that, getting everything in order, making sure everything runs smoothly. And then, as a side, I do the budget for ASCC, so I monitor that as well.
Cool. So I'd like to, every time I have a guest that is faculty and so forth, that's already made it to, finish their education and so forth, I like to get their story. Tell me about, after high school, and even during high school, did you already know what you wanted to do? Were you involved in stuff?
Actually, no. I was not a very active student. In high school, yeah, I had activities, and I found things interesting. So something I really liked was auto body. So that was fun. But no, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to be when I, quote unquote, grew up. So I was basically, just there serving my time. Then I came to Cerritos College right after I graduated from Bellflower High School, and it was really a tough experience for me because I am probably, like most of you out there, first-generation college student. So I didn't have anyone's footsteps to follow in, and trying to navigate such a huge system was really, really difficult. But luckily, I had joined a learning community here. So my learning community consisted of English and a counseling and guidance class. So through the counseling class, I was actually able to discover more about what my strengths were. And that's how I kind of decided to go ahead and pursue business.
Business, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So with business, you had to do a lot of math, or?
Not too bad. I mean, it's not as bad as, somebody doing chemistry or anatomy or anything like that, or, But yeah, it was a lot of math, especially I wanted to do accounting, so my focus was in accounting. So, yep, a bit of math, but not too bad.
For most students, math can be intimidating.
Oh, yeah, very intimidating. I've always loved math, so I didn't have too much of a hard time with it. But then, when you get up to, say, the college algebra or the 114, that's when I started having difficulty. And it's just basically from trying to learn a new method of doing something that you've already been doing a certain way for so long.
And how did you go about, the classes that you were facing that were challenging?
Usually I would just hang out and speak to the advisor, or a lot of them had labs, so we had tutoring available to us, so I would take advantage of that when I could.
Excellent. We'll be right back after these public service announcements.
People don't much listen to the radio on the radio anymore. They listen on their desktops, they listen on their laptops, they listen on their tablets, and mostly they listen on their cell phones. You can hear WPMD on great streaming sites like TuneIn and Streema and Radio Shaker, and now you can listen to the place where people make a difference on our new WPMD app. It's free and ready for you to download. Just go to appcatch.com. That's appcatch.com. Search for WPMD, then hit launch, and you're with us. It'll work on your iPhone, your Android, your BlackBerry, your iPad. You can take WPMD with you wherever you go, whenever you go. The WPMD app. One more reason why WPMD on the net is the place where people make a difference.
Living with diabetes is not easy. It's common to feel overwhelmed, sad, or angry. If you are at risk of type 2 diabetes, you may also be struggling with trying to prevent or delay the onset of the disease. Even if you know what to do to improve your health, figuring out what to do and fitting it into your daily routine can be a big challenge. That's why it's important to take a plan to help and manage your diabetes, or take steps to prevent it. Learn how to make a plan and set goals that will work for you. Visit yourdiabetesinfo.org. That's yourdiabetesinfo.org to learn more and to get started on making your plan today.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's the Breathe Easies with another one of your favorite hits.
Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke around the kids in the house. Don't smoke in the car. Don't smoke in the house. Don't break my heart with your secondhand smoke in the kids. It can trigger the asthma.
Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as making your home and car smoke-free zones. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Up next, well, what do you know? The Breathe Easies with another hit song, Vacuum Up the Floor.
Vacuum up the floor. Vacuum up the floor. Yeah. Vacuum up the floor. The asthma trigger is no more. You gotta vacuum up the furniture and vacuum in the cracks because the dander and the dust can give kids asthma attacks.
Simple steps can help your kids breathe easier. Vacuum up the floor to keep your house free of dust, dander, and dust mites. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob JF, and we are here at WPMD Studios, located in the city of Norwalk at Cerritos College. And I am back here with my guest. So after Cerritos College, what did you do afterwards?
After Cerritos College, I decided to go to Cal State Dominguez Hills, and there I earned my bachelor's with in business, and then the concentration, of course, was in accounting. So I did that. It took me about 1.5 years to complete. Mostly I wanted to get that done as soon as possible. Unfortunately, like I was telling you, it was hard for me to navigate Cerritos College, and I didn't know of all the resources that were available. So it took me probably about 5 years here. And so when I went to the Cal State level, I wanted to, get really serious with that and kick it out as soon as possible.
And you had left with the AA, or you just went straight to the BA?
I just went, I transferred from here, so I did not receive an AA. I was just on the transfer track, and I did that.
Okay. So your degree, it's a BA in...
It's a BS in Business Administration.
Okay. And are you pursuing anything further, or?
Well, right after that, I actually did attend an online college in Kentucky. So it's Morehead State University, and that's where I earned my my Master's of Business Administration. Yep.
So, when you were doing your BA, were you also in any activities there on the campus of the university, or?
No, unfortunately, I wasn't. I did attend the accounting club meetings occasionally, but, unfortunately, I had to pay for my education. So when I wasn't at school, I was at work. So I didn't really have a lot of time off to be involved. So for me, my life was school, work, and then back to school, and then work.
Yeah, I know that some students, it could be expensive, especially, with the books and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about the jobs that you held leading up to where you are now.
Mine is a little bit of a unique path. So I had actually worked at Staples across the street for about 8 years. So there, I really got a lot of exposure to customer service. I ended up being the customer service lead, and I did that full time when I actually finished my bachelor's in science degree. But I had a lot of different jobs. So it went from cashiering is where I started. Then I did the price auditing, the bookkeeping, and then, like I said, towards the end, it was customer service. So that was one of my main. I've had jobs prior to that, but that's where I actually learned a lot of my skills was in retail. After that, I was lucky enough to get employed here in the accounting department. So that was probably like my dream job is to get into accounting. I stood there for about, it was 4 years. And then I decided to, try something different, a little bit different. And I still get accounting experience where I'm at, but it's fun. It's a unique position, whereas I get to interact with students and still do administrative work.
Cool. So you had mentioned your master's was online.
Mm-hmm.
Why so far?
Actually, in doing the research of all the colleges, it fell within, again, I had to pay for that as well. So it fell within my range, and it had the accreditation that I wanted.
And what would you say was the difference of the experience, from community college to, the university to the online master's program?
Actually, my education here at Cerritos College, I appreciate it very much. It did prep me to further my education. Once I finished here, when I went to Cal State, it was a similar experience, just a little bit more in depth and detail on the subjects I was studying. But I felt really confident from my experience here at Cerritos. So I think that helped me a lot. And also here in Cerritos, I also had done online classes. So when I did the master's online, I didn't find it too difficult, except for when it came to group projects. But it did allow us a lot of flexibility. So the transition was fairly easy for me once I got serious about finishing my education.
So how does the group project thing work when it's online? Like, you
Well,
have to physically meet with each other? Or?
No, fortunately, we did not. I did not have to travel. What we did is we used programs. So we did like the interfacing. If we had presentations, we would use that as well. We did a lot of like just chatting online. So we did a lot of chatting, a bunch of research, and then we would bring it all together and integrate it from there.
Okay. And now that you have finished, what would you say was how long did it, how was it? So when it comes to accounting, like,
Mm-hmm.
For anybody that, isn't aware of, what is accounting, like, obviously there's more to it than just like counting and stuff, right? Like,
Right.
It must be challenging. Like, what are the, to explain what it is?
To explain, what it basically is accounting. It's all about balance. So you will balance your debits, your credits. A lot of it's basically entering data in a way that is going to allow you to do a report or reports that you can communicate to management, and it's just a way to track expenditures, income, all of that stuff, so that we can see where exactly the institution is going, where we need to improve and make things more efficient. I know I'm probably a nerd, but I find it fun.
And so how does it work, the budget process, that you deal with here now?
Well, in the ASCC, it's unique. It's not. I haven't experienced anything like this before. So what we do for ASCC is that we create a committee. Now there are certain, like the president, usually the vice president, senators, people from cabinet, a student at large. So what we do is we send out a request for proposals, usually in January, to all the departments on campus. They turn those into us, and then we will schedule meetings to sit with the committee and review them. So it's great that the students have so much input on this because, like I've said, that's the first time I've experienced it, and it's great. So we get a bunch of different points of views, and we just try to come together and have an agreement on what's going to be funded, what isn't.
And you also are like at events as well. And I remember quite some time ago when AJ was balancing a lot of hats, you kind of did the same thing, right? You were having to do.
Oh yeah, yeah. When AJ actually had took place as the director, I stepped in as the coordinator. So yeah, I would say myself and AJ, we have always worked really well together. And then of course we have great office staff now. But I really do love the friendship that AJ and I share. It's very unique. I don't have that very much. I haven't had that experience throughout my life and my work life. So it's great. I really do love coming to work, and she makes it all that much better for me.
Oh, tell me about the things you had to do during that time.
Everything. No, it's like, the show must go on, and we were extremely stressed, but we have a lot of support from the students. So we do the same things. It's usually homecoming's a big one, the Falcon Games events. What else do we have? Spring Festival. Those are a few of the really big ones. And, of course, always our awards banquets. So it's just again, like balancing. So we did all the same activities. I would say that, we didn't have enough time to make things as great as we wanted to. But we came together and we did it the best that we can.
And for our audience who aren't aware of, what's the awards banquet like, can you explain?
Sure. The awards banquets, we always do one in spring and one in fall. And what that is to recognize the student leaders on campus. If you get involved, you have a club or, anything really that you do around campus is volunteering your time, your efforts, club activities, any kind of government involvement. We want to make sure that we give recognition to those students who are going above and beyond. So what we will do is the student will put down their information. They basically list everything that they have done to help ASCC and Cerritos College, and then a committee comes together and grades those, and they will determine who gets which award. We also do have scholarships that are available. They're through the ICC, which is the Interclub Council. We have a scholarship called the Bob Epple. And we also do curricular awards that are given to us from the department chairs. And that's acknowledging a student in a specific discipline. And all of those awards are $150 a piece for the scholarships. And then we do have certificates as well, gold, silver, and bronze plaques for those who receive those awards.
Excellent. Yeah, and then I know that some people, they look forward especially to the food. Can you tell us who does that?
Sure. Culinary Arts does that. So we always work with Amber Major and Michael Perini in Culinary Arts, and their students will cook the food, and they serve as well. So we always order through Culinary Arts for our banquets.
Cool. And for the students listening here, can you remind us about the tickets and all that?
Sure, I just actually sent out an email this morning. Tickets are available for those students who are receiving an award or scholarship. And then additional tickets can be purchased, I believe, after this Friday. So starting Monday on the 27th, I believe it is. If you wouldn't like to attend, you're more than welcome to. It will cost $10 per ticket if you're a student, or $15 per ticket if you're not. And the event is going to take place on Friday, May 8th at 6:30 in the Student Center.
Okay. And as for the homecoming event, can you tell us about that?
Sure. A lot of people don't know about this, but Cerritos College does have a a big homecoming event. So what we do is we allow 12 to 15 clubs to participate in making floats. So it's really fun. It's really interesting to see what everyone comes up with. It's some amazing and creative ideas. So it's always a lot of fun to go and check out the floats. They will have a week to work on it, and they're given $400 to put into their floats. And on the day of homecoming game, they will be able to go out and show off their floats during halftime. And then we also have the homecoming queen, the homecoming princesses, and we hold elections for all of those positions.
And then it was pretty cool. I got to go to it the last time when I was in the committee. But the opening type thing, like the breakfast event.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, in the morning we invite judges throughout the campus. It's usually board members, faculty, staff. We'll invite a few to come out. We provide breakfast in the morning, and then we take them out. They will judge the floats, and that's how we determine who's gonna get, judge's favorite, or whatever, most creative. And they will go ahead and judge and determine what everyone is gonna win.
Cool. And does faculty, get something? Like, I know that there's like a recognition thing as well here for the campus. Have you been to one of those? Like,
Are you
like a faculty, like they got their own event type thing, right? Have you got to like attend something like that before? Or?
I have not.
No?
We've just participated. We actually honor staff who have been advisors as well, but we do all of that at our spring and fall awards banquets.
And just recently, we've had, more people. You're mentioning more employees added to the activities office.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that?
Sure. We actually have a dean now, so that's Dr. Gilbert Contreras. Prior to that, it was basically AJ was the director, and a dean position didn't exist. So Gil's position is fairly new, so that's the dean. Along with that came administrative secretary, which is Maria Asai. So if you stop in there, she's at the last desk, but yeah, she's great. We also have a new hourly, Daniel Gomez. So he helps us with student government. And then, of course, it's AJ and I, and staff for the Office of Student Grievances, and that's Amber Doffner. So yeah, we basically have a full team now, which is great.
Cool.
Yeah.
And the semester goes by so fast. But I know that you guys also have, events like, what is it, like breakfast, like,
Early
bars.
bird.
Yes.
Yeah, so we do early bird. It's typically the last Tuesday or Wednesday of every month. So we do early bird, and that's just basically to hand out snacks fruit juice to students who are attending, the early classes, hence the name Early Bird. But yeah, we just, looking for ways to just help, So if you need that energy for that class, we have granola bars, and it's just a little something to give back.
So I know that as a student, people have always stressed out, about like midterms and finals. How did you cope with that when you were a student?
I cried a lot. No. No. What I learned eventually over time, it did take me a while to learn, though. Just basically trying to pace myself. Time management is huge. So I would really recommend that students attend the time management classes that are offered here, or the seminars, because that's going to be one of the most important things that's going to help a lot, would be the time management. So, you just got to kind of figure out what you need to get done. But yes, it's extremely, extremely stressful.
What did you do to manage your time?
I like to write everything down so that I have a checklist. So, if I have a paper due in econ and then I have a test in accounting, you just what I would do is gauge which one is more important, which one I need it more, and where I need to focus my studies. So if, say, it's just a regular class for econ and a big test is coming up accounting, of course I would focus more of my attention in accounting. But yeah, it really, really is a balancing act.
And then, balancing things and clubs. When you did go to the club meetings, how did you, feel about the environment? Like, what did you gain when you got to experience being in a club?
I really enjoyed the social aspect of it. You get to network with people. You make really great friends, lifelong friends. And it was fun. It was interesting, but the most important thing, I think, was the friendships.
Cool. And when you first transitioned from high school to Cerritos College, did you get to, start off, take classes with friends, or were you like lost when you first went on your first semester?
No, honestly, I was very, very, very lost my first semester. A lot of my friends did not attend Cerritos College, or they had started off attending Cerritos, but then they transferred, or they not transferred, but they would move somewhere else, or they decided to pursue something else, or they would just drop out. So in the beginning, it was really hard for me to try to figure out what I was doing, and it was hard, but I did learn a lot. And then eventually over time, I started realizing that, hey, there are resources here. I can go visit a counselor. I can ask questions. But even in the beginning of, class, I was always afraid of asking questions in fear that I would look dumb. But, I think in time, if you're like that, it eventually goes away. And once it does, it's great because you feel more empowered. It's like, okay, I can ask these questions. I don't have to worry about looking dumb or feeling, weird about it.
And one of the interesting things also that I noticed, and I didn't know this at first, but about the whole process, there's so much more to it, at the school, as far as how the school works.
Oh, yeah.
Through shared governance, and employees also going to like meetings and stuff. I was wondering, what meetings do you have to go to usually?
Usually, what I have to go to is not too bad. Usually, the dean or other staff gets more caught up in that. I have been to several, usually the big one for us is going to be the Student Life Committee meeting, and that has to do with around at a certain point in time, it becomes the commencement planning. So I did have to attend that. But, that's basically the only one. Budget meetings. And I used to attend the student services meetings when I was acting as the coordinator. But yeah, now not really any, not too many.
And what was that like for you?
Very interesting. It was my first time experiencing that, and it really did open my eyes because, like you were saying, there's so much shared governance here, and there's so many different people that are involved in the campus, and I found it really interesting having so many people in the room, stating their opinions, their ideas. It's nice to see where other departments are and what they're doing to help their students. And also, it can generate a lot of great ideas on ways that we can improve or make things better. Because I think that, we're good, but there's a lot of room for improvement.
And just recently, we had the whole accreditation process going. I had never heard of such a process before. As a student, sometimes some of us, we just go to class and leave, and we're not familiar with, all the technical stuff. But can you tell me about the accreditation process?
With the accreditation, I unfortunately haven't been too involved in that. I do know that they will come auditors will come through, make sure everything is in place, that we're following rules and regulations from the state and the education board. So they do that. They also look at success rate. So I know that's usually a big that's a big issue for our college, is the success rate. But I know they're working on ways to improve that. So I believe they just come in and they kind of rate us on a bunch of different categories. The categories I'm not too sure off the top of my head. Like I said, I'm not too involved with that at this point. But it's like a big report card.
Yeah, and we'll be right back after these public service announcements.
Nothing better demonstrates an artist's ability to perform, to connect with his audience, than his work on stage. At the WPMD Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we bring you Roadwork. A series of great concerts, start to finish, uninterrupted, from the greatest names in rock and roll. All from the WPMD archives. Some haven't aired in years, some have never aired at all. And you have the best seat in the house, right in front of your speakers. Roadwork. Throughout the week, on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, on WPMD on the Net, where people make a difference.
WPMD can help you save money. Next time you want to shop, go online and go to our website first, WPMDonthenet.com. Click on the Amazon.com button. That'll take you to Amazon.com. And then you could take advantage of all the great deals that you can find there. WPMD and Cerritos College Foundation will receive a percentage of what you spend, and it'll cost you nothing extra. That's a great way to support the place where people make a difference, and to find the best deals on the internet. Thanks for being a smart shopper, and help out the voice of Cerritos College, WPMD.
As I went through school, one giant question loomed over me. What did I want to be? But in order to know what I wanted to be, I had to first decide what I wanted to make. I wanted to make more. So I became a teacher. Now I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought, and unconventional methods common. I make material things less important, and little things like patience and kindness count. I make weekdays more exciting than weekends, and classrooms feel like anything but. I make things different, which is all I ever hoped for. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Falcon Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Rob JF, here at Cerritos College in Norwalk, California, and WPMD Studios, where people make a difference. And I'm back here with my guests. Now, like we were saying, where the accreditation process and the whole, shared governance going on, it was a interesting experience because I got to go to the 3 days of the public forums. And it was pretty interesting just to see, how that process works. And the president of student government at the time, Juan, he had told the students, we want to, go with him to this event and just watch, be considered a team of the students and, see how this works, how a public forum works. And going there, and it was just, the teleconference center is filled with so many different faculty members and stuff. And it was pretty cool. At the end, on the third day, I talked and I just, we all thought it was a good idea to just, mention, how involved we are and stuff like that. And then just recently, I got, this academic year, I got to participate in shared governance, and I've been part of the Student Learning Outcomes Committee and the Enrollment Management Committees, and it's just been interesting to hear all the different things that that are being worked on for the students to further their success. Soon we're gonna have so we have a homepage. We have the My Cerritos on the website where the students get their own accounts and stuff like that, and soon we'll be able to track our success even better. It'll show the percentage bar. If we're going for AA, we will see 2 bars. It's a percentage bar. We click it, and it's going to break down into 2 bars. One that's your major, and the other that's your general ed. And it'll show how much percentage you are close to finishing those 2 goals. And if you are only in a certificate program, they're going to only show 1 bar, and it'll show how close are you just to that certificate. And just so many different interesting things, the potential app for students to track the different organizations that they're a part of, and when they go see a counselor, the counselor will be able to see all the things that the students in, and so many different things. And by being in a shared governance committee, I got to see all the different how it's interesting how they break it down, different departments and stuff represented in there. And, one of them, the enrollment management, Dr. Johnson's in there. Can you tell us who Dr. Johnson is?
Yeah, Dr. Johnson is the VP of Student Services. Yeah.
And what does he do?
And amazing guy. What doesn't he do? He coordinates basically all of the managers of the student services area, and he oversees all these areas. So he's actually, like a lot of the other VPs, they're responsible for a lot. So I'm really glad that we have Dr. Johnson on board. He's been around for a while, and he's the man to go to. He has all the answers. I love it.
And what is does he do you guys have to meet with him or something every so often, or
No, we don't. On the staff level that I am on, I don't have to meet with him. He does come to the office though, and we'll say hi, how are you doing? But no, I don't necessarily need to meet with him. That's more of Dr. Contreras' area because he is his direct boss. So Dr. Contreras will go every so often and have managers meetings with him. But yep, very hands-on, very involved.
And how does it feel to have been a student here and now be a faculty member?
Mm-hmm. It actually feels great. I love it because it reminds me of how much I actually got from this college, how much I learned here. I mean, it was my first college experience, and it just reminds me of my accomplishments. And I've always loved education. I think education is so important to have. And I am really, really happy that I am fortunate enough to be working here because I do love education. But yeah, it really, really, really does feel great to be here. I love it.
Wouldn't it be something, when you started here, did you ever bump into all of a sudden a professor you had is still teaching here?
Oh
or-
yeah, oh yeah. I have. There's actually a few professors here that I had classes with. So like Solomon, Namala, Mar- Professor Franke in accounting. There are a few others, but those were two of my favorites. But yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool to see them around, see that they're still so actively involved and still so happy to teach the subjects that they're teaching.
Now, I always ask my guests this question. What was your goal for the year?
Ooh. I did not really set a goal for the year that I can remember. Yeah, that's a great question that I can't think of the answer right now. A lot of what I want to accomplish is better balance in my life, better balance with work, and I want to actually become better at my job. I want to become more efficient. I want to be able to make events better and find out processes that can improve the office. So Dr. Contreras is great as being an agent for change, and I like that. I think we're headed in the right direction as far as making things smoother, and just efficient. So I guess efficiency and balance, work-life balance is probably my two goals.
And what is let's see, now that we've had has the school changed, like how every now and then we've had like constructions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you had left, well, technically you worked across the street, so you were able to see the
Yeah, I was
buildings
able
changed.
to see
I was
the
about to say,
change.
while you were gone,
Uh-huh.
did you see anything that like stood out to you that was different?
The one thing I did remember was the lecture hall, the circular building in the front. So when I go over to that area of campus, it's still kind of, I don't know, it's strange. It's a good change, but I'm like, I miss my circular building. I don't know. I think that building was where I had a lot of my my first classes in. So that's the one that just kind of stuck out. But I really like what's happening throughout the campus. It looks great. I love the drought, the resistant plants. I think that's great for sustainability. And, we all know we're in a drought. So I love seeing all the improvements that have been made.
And how do you feel about having the recycling stuff? When all the bins were put on here and all that.
Mm-hmm. I really like the recycling program. I think we have a lot of room to grow in that area, and we're just in the beginning. So it's a learning, we have a learning process to go through. But I think as time goes on and we actually invest in learning and, keeping the program alive, I think it's a great idea. It'll help the environment. It can bring money back to the students. And it has a lot of potential, so I'm excited to see where that goes.
And then the water fountains or something?
Oh,
coming
it's
soon?
the water stations. Yeah, I'm excited to see where that is. I know that's been in talks for a while. I know we are finally moving forward in that process, but I want to see them on campus already.
And then we've had changes with the restaurants.
Yes, I believe the restaurants that we have on campus right now, I believe, are in something like a 2 or 3 year contract. So they're not as lengthy as the previous companies that were in here. So they're new. Yeah, yeah. We'll see how that goes. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews from students. Some really like it. Some say it's really bad. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes through the years. And Dr. Contreras, along with I'm sure student body and faculty and staff, will determine if that's what they want to keep on campus or if they would like to pursue new vendors.
And then culinary is getting like an upgrade right now, right?
Yes, they are. So I'm not too sure when their construction will be done, but yes, they are. They're in the process of getting a improved facility.
So, reflecting right now, with everything, being a student and coming back, what tips do you have for students that are, hoping to, transfer and get to university and stuff? What tips do you have towards completing, their educational goals?
Right. What I would highly recommend is that everyone uses the resources here, not be afraid or intimidated to go into these offices, because we're all here really to help the students. That's why we work here. And, unfortunately, like I said, I was timid, didn't like asking a lot of questions. But now as an employee working here, I see so many opportunities that I wish I would have taken advantage of. So, the counseling services, I didn't go in very often, and I should have. The one resource that I'm really happy I used was career services, because that did help me determine where I wanted to go in life, what my path was going to be, and what I like to do. So I would really recommend everyone to, check that out. And if there's a counseling class, I don't know if they offer the same one. I think we do. But there's a counseling class where you can go in and learn your strengths, weaknesses, and where you can excel in a career. So take advantage of math tutoring. I know the math club offers tutoring free, and they have certain dates and times that they do that. But really, it's just getting information on what Cerritos College has to offer you and pursuing that. Just being proactive and once you figure out that, hey, this is different from high school, whereas in high school, we're told what to do. And here at the college level, we have the freedom to make our own choices. So there's nobody that's going to be babysitting us. So it really has to come internally. You really have to want it. And just go out there, seek the opportunities, seek the resources, and go from there.
When I first got here, I thought we had to ask permission to go to the restroom. There's
I know,
no hall
right?
passes or nothing
Right,
like that.
exactly. I mean, it's a totally different experience. And I think what a lot of us lack is, the preparation from that transition from high school to college level. We don't know what is expected of us. We don't know, what we need to ask for permission. There's a lot of questions. I mean, at least there were in my mind. So, yeah, just know that there's resources here that you can take advantage of. And if you have questions, you can always check with admissions and records, go to counseling, go to career services. Just go and, don't be afraid. Everyone here is really great and they're willing to help you. You just need to ask for it.
And what are the hours of operation for the office of the activities?
Our hours are Monday through Thursday from 8 o'clock to 4:30. And then on Fridays, we're open from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
And then for those that want to look online to find out about activities?
Sure, you can go to www.cerritos.edu/activities.
Perfect. And this concludes this edition of the Falcon Spotlight. I want to thank you for taking the time to be here on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2 p.m. for the Falcon Spotlight. Replay broadcasts are Thursdays at 5 p.m. And I edit my show to upload also onto YouTube. So coming soon, I'll upload this edition. Until next time, folks.